Their blankets and their bed, it's still there, and I see it, but they're not there.
Well, her brothers and sisters were taken away from her 1 month after her parents died in a tragic car accident. Sabrina Pavanka will soon start a petition to bring her siblings home. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Justin Pizzera.
I'm Megan Matthews. The July car wreck killed Yvonne and Frank Pavanka. They left behind 7 children. This week, 5 of those children were taken out of state to live with their paternal grandfather in Texas. Rebecca Ray has the developing story tonight with the sister who says her family belongs in Omaha.
When I come here, I don't see my siblings.
The death of Sabrina Pavanka's parents created a bond between her siblings stronger than ever. For the first time in years, all the children lived together. But now that bond is broken and she may lose the rest of her family.
I mean, I already lost both of my parents. If I can't see them here, sorry, then I don't have anything anymore.
A judge granted temporary custody to Sabrina's 5 younger siblings to relatives living in Texas.
I won't be able to see my siblings graduate. I don't get to be a part of any success.
Yvonne and Frank Pavanka did not have a will prepared and did not appoint a guardian in case of death.
We don't want to see them upset, and if being here with their close family and being able to be where their parents were, if that's what they want, that's what we want.
The children had already started school here in Omaha. 2 days ago, were forced to pack up their bags, say goodbye to their older sisters, and move thousands of miles away.
Their blankets and their bed, it's still there, and I see it, but they're not there.
Rebecca Ray, KMTV, Action 3 News.
A judge appointed the temporary guardianship to the paternal grandfather. Now that can last up to 6 months. Sabrina is starting a petition to bring her siblings back to Nebraska.
New tonight, a driver who hit a motorcyclist on the road left the scene, but then he felt bad about it and drove back to turn himself in. We caught it all on video. Around 7:30 tonight, police responded to the hit-and-run accident near 72nd and Cedar. Now, police say the driver left the scene but came back about 30 minutes later and turned himself into police. They say alcohol and speed are not factors in this crash. No word on the condition of the biker. Omaha police are looking for 3 men who kicked in a front door in South Omaha and then threatened a resident with a gun. Officers responded to the home invasion near 19th and Spring around 2:15 this morning. Police said 3 white males wearing all dark clothing kicked in the front door, displayed firearms, and forced the victim to give them money. The suspects took off in a silver SUV, possibly a CRV or a RAV4.
The Omaha Fire Department says lightning is to blame for a house fire in North Omaha during yesterday's storms. Investigators say one woman was inside asleep when she heard a loud crash of thunder. A short time later, she smelled something burning. A fire had sparked in her dining room. The woman and a dog got out okay. 3 birds were lost in the fire. To Missouri now, the streets in Ferguson remain peaceful as tensions between police and protesters continue to subside. A local chapter of the NAACP held a march and rally this afternoon to call for justice for Michael Brown. Hundreds turned out. Protests have been happening in the St. Louis suburb for 2 weeks now, since Ferguson police officer Darren Wilson shot and killed Brown.
The looting and tear gas that have characterized the protest over the death of teenager Michael Brown are gone. Amidst the calm, another side of the story is finding its voice today. Scott Thompson reports that supporters of the officer who killed Brown are speaking out.
My name is Darren Wilson. We are Darren Wilson.
A Darren Wilson supporter, insisting on remaining anonymous, says evidence will show the Ferguson police officer acted properly when he shot and killed unarmed teen Michael Brown 2 weeks ago.
We share the united belief that Officer Wilson's actions on August 9th were warranted and justified.
The scenes in Ferguson over the last few nights have been dramatically different than earlier in the week. Police in riot gear were nowhere to be seen. Protests remained peaceful. Ferguson Police Chief Thomas Jackson even mingled with protesters and brought them water Saturday. Captain Ron Johnson, in charge of security for the town, indicated the crisis had reached a turning point.
There were no Molotov cocktails tonight, no fires, no shootings, and we did not seize a single handgun. No police officer fired a single bullet.
Despite the recent peace, Officer Wilson's supporters say media coverage of the shooting and following chaos have hurt Ferguson.
We believe this has only intensified the destruction of the community of Ferguson and the surrounding St. Louis areas.
A St. Louis County grand jury will decide if charges should be brought against Officer Darren Wilson. The U.S. Justice Department is conducting its own investigation. I'm Scott Thompson reporting.
A grand jury is now handling the case to decide whether charges should be filed against Wilson.
President Obama is ordering a review of federal programs that allow local law enforcement agencies to buy military equipment. The review comes on the heels of criticism about the heavy military-style equipment that was brought out in Ferguson. A senior administration official says the president has asked the White House staff members to look at whether such programs are appropriate and whether local agencies have the necessary training, among other things.
In Nebraska, the number of cattle in feedlots is up 4% this year compared to last. A new U.S. Department of Agriculture report shows feedlot capacities more than 1,000 head contained 2 million cattle as of August the 1st. Cattle replacements for the month of July totaled 465,000 head, up 3% from last year. And late freezes, high winds, and hailstorms, they are not a good combination for Nebraska's grape growers. They had a rough year because of severe weather over the last few months. The Nebraska Wine and Grape Growers Association says normally growers only face one severe weather event. Well, this year there were at least 4. One grower says he will only be able to harvest about 10% of his grapes.
He's ready to rock out for Pilger. Tomorrow, Bret Michaels will take the stage for the Rock and Relief Concert. The rock and roll singer will headline the concert, which will help with storm relief for residents of Pilger. The concert is in Norfolk at the DeVent Center. Michaels, his band, and crew went to Pilger in June to help with cleanup work. The singer also took time to talk to several residents about their loss.
Well, it was a steamy afternoon, but the breeze made it a great one for flying a kite or a few hundred kites. Here are some of the kites that took to the bright sky at Omaha's Kite Expo at 192nd and Dodge. Hundreds of people came out to let them soar through the air. Wow, there are a lot there. There are a few more pictures, and I said before, that looks nothing like a kite.
The kites we used to fly.
Yeah, the kites that we used to fly. Nothing at all.
Those little tissue paper type things with some wood frame. That's
Those
about
things
it.
were
Yeah, I know.
Disintegrated in the air.
They've got a little more sophisticated, yes. Well, another steamy day expected for tomorrow, and next week we'll be cooling down. If you're getting tired of the heat and humidity, we'll be able to scour those out. Let's go back to our Controlled Comfort Weather Center and take a look at our current conditions right now. We're at 83 degrees. Again, it's sort of muggy out there. Relative humidity at 71% with a dew point of 73, and our winds are out of the southeast at about 17 miles per hour. Looking at area temperature, 79 in Council Bluffs, a little cooler there. Most locations in the lower 80s from Elkhorn through Papillion. 80 degrees in Bellevue and 79 out in Gretna. And expanding out across our area, we have temperatures right now around 85 in Lincoln, 78 degrees Nebraska City, Denison at 77. And as we take a look at some other readings, it is in the lower 80s out around Beatrice and then over towards Falls City. So really a pleasant evening across the area in most locations. Last night we had some more thunder late overnight. Here's a look at some of the precipitation totals. Now these areas in pink, there are a few areas that could have picked up anywhere between 3 to 4 inches of rain, where you see these clusters of pink and red throughout the area here. But some of the heavier amounts from reporting stations, 2 and 3600ths at Ashland. We have 2 and 7300ths out around Offutt Air Force Base. Offutt picked up an inch and 37, and around Millard an inch and 46, 6200ths out around Papillion. Let's take a look at our satellite right now. You can see the lightning that's occurring. Some storms to the northwest of the metro in sections of the Dakotas and also out in the far western sections of the state. We'll turn to our network of radars and show you those. And they were there a second ago. Here they are. And some of these has crossed over to the state line out here. Let's zoom into these up here in north central Nebraska and also up in the Dakotas, just barely across the state line. They've sort of fired up here, but all of these are moving toward the north and east. So there's no eastward advancement or southeastward advancement to any of these, although it looks like some are trying to get going here in northeast Nebraska. So at least in the short term, this would be a part of the state where we're keeping a close eye for some thunderstorm development. Most of this moving away from us, and then out in western sections of Nebraska, a few thunderstorms in the extreme southwest corner that is pushing east northeasterly. We'll see if we don't see a couple of those move into the Norfolk area, and then by the early morning hours we could see one or two of those in Lincoln and in the Omaha areas as we take a look at our Viper HD forecast model. And for the most part, it's just going to be increasing cloud cover as we head into the overnight hours. Shouldn't be any problem in terms of rainfall, but as we get closer to sunrise tomorrow, then we could see a shower or thunderstorm pop up around the metro, as you can see right there. And that could carry over into the mid-morning hours. A cold front is moving toward the metro as well as we head into the later stages of the day, and that could fire up some isolated thunderstorms as well. 71 for the overnight low tonight, increasing cloud cover and an outside chance that we could see a late night thunderstorm. That would be after about 4 a.m., possibly lingering into the early morning hours. Outside of that, we'll see partly cloudy skies, 92 for the high, as we maintain a southerly breeze that will keep our humidities up. Again, a chance of thunderstorms on Monday in the evening, overnight hours. And we'll be dropping into the upper 80s on Tuesday, but it is Tuesday into Wednesday and Wednesday night into Thursday when more widespread coverage of thunderstorms are expected, and that's when we're going to see a punch of that cooler Canadian air settling in here. A wisp of that is going to bring back comfortable temperatures heading into next weekend, guys.
All right, thanks, John. Well, it's one of the largest fashion events in the country, and tonight Omaha showed its stuff on the red carpet. It was the grand finale of Omaha Fashion Week. Models walked their way down the runway in front of a few thousand people. It is a packed house right there. Tonight's show featured all of the designers from throughout the week. Our own Jennifer Griswold, there you go, and Emily Zink emceed tonight's event. Omaha Fashion Week is the 5th largest fashion event in the country, and of course KMTV is a proud sponsor of that event. A lot of stylish people there.
Absolutely. Well, a few locals took the ice bucket challenge to a whole different level today.
Oh, completely different. Wait until you see this ice cold dump at a local dealership and who they challenged next. We'll show you coming up.